Passage routes to help the thousands of Chicago public school kids head back to school.
They did it again this afternoon as kids headed home, and the local website DNAinfo.com was there with 15 reporters out in the neighborhoods. The site's managing editor, Shamus Toomey, is here to tell us exactly, A, how it went and what you saw when you were out there.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Yeah, we're a local neighborhood news site, and so we sent all our reporters out to the neighborhoods they already cover. So it was a big day for them as well as for the kids. And, you know, what they basically saw was they saw a lot of well-organized events to get the kids to school. They saw a lot of folks out on the street and protecting the way.
Did any place have any particular trouble that you can think of? Any neighborhood in specific?
You know, there were a handful of, I would say, inconsistencies that were out there, and not necessarily to put CPS on the hook for them either. At Castellanos Elementary School in Little Village, we talked to some parents who were a little surprised at how far the walk was from their old school to the new school, and today was a hot, sticky day. You know, one woman just locks, and so she said, "I'm about to faint," but there's several large streets between between the schools, and they said, we're going to do this every day because we're just nervous about it.
And in one place in Auburn, Gresham had a particularly large number of kids that were moving to that school, correct? At
Ryder in Auburn, Gresham, they got 230 new kids, and it seemed to go pretty well. There was a lot of angst from some of the parents with special ed students. They were nervous about the change. Their sons don't do well with change, and unfortunately, one of them said the bus didn't show up for her autistic son, and that was you know, as far as I could tell, an anomaly citywide, but it was difficult.
Adjusting to change, really the name of the game here. What happened in Lincoln Square?
Lincoln Square, it's Chappelle Elementary School. They were taking in kids from Trumbull, and this was a good example of a principal who really went all out to welcome in the new kids. Not today, but in the weeks leading up to it. She held like movie night in the park. She met with the kids. So her theme was, you know, we are all Chappelle kids now. And
do you think that had an impact on them when they came into school the first day? There was some familiarity, and they felt like they, you know, were part of something.
I think so. We saw a lot of smiles from the parents and from the kids on that one, and then just a tremendous amount of city workers lining the streets there, and they said a lot of smiles, a lot of anxious looks, a lot of nervous smiles, but smiles nonetheless.
Very fortunate. It looks like the day went off pretty smoothly.
Yes, I would definitely say so.
As a long-term solution, is this going to be a good long-term solution? We heard some parents in one of the earlier stories say, you know, what happens when the police aren't here? What happens down the road when this isn't new anymore? Or do you think its long-term viability is good? A
lot of the point of the safe passage was to make sure these people are familiar with the new pathways. But I think one thing that we are seeing that there was a lot of thankfulness for is all these new welcoming schools had air conditioning, which was something when you start school in August is not a bad.
Not all schools have it.
Yeah, especially today, on a day like today, right?
Or a week.
Yes, exactly. Thanks so much, Shamus. Really appreciate you joining us.